Hello, everybody. The stock market put in a pretty decent session on Friday. It wasn't the greatest considering how much we fell off the intraday highs, but the good news is that we pulled back off those highs on overall lower volume. And you can see on the NASDAQ, volume was below average, and on the New York Stock Exchange, same thing, volume below average. And the key thing is that Friday's session, while it wasn't good and it wasn't great or positive really overall, the good news is that, as you can see on the indexes, none of these indexes close lower than where they open. That would be a very bad sign to see, but even worse would be for us to close below the low a day of Thursday's session. We didn't do that. We held up overall. You see on the Russell 2000 and all the other indexes. Looking at the oscillators, you can see TSV is continuing to get oversold as the index holds in here. So if we can kind of bottom out here and start to rally higher, that'll put a lot of time on our side and will be overall healthy for the market. But we'll see if this index is leading us lower as a forebear to us failing this 50-day moving average. MACD also at oversold levels, kind of turning up, but nothing too amazing. NASDAQ, similar situation. Really, everything's still in an overall downtrend, yet the index is plowing higher. That could be a good sign, especially if these oscillators start turning higher. But what's really to take away from everything is that we really don't have any confirmation in any of these indexes. So we're still, not out of the woods yet. But like I said, we're under an operational buy signal with us taking over the 50-day moving average the session before. But as you can see now, looking at the stochastics on the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, Russell 2000, there's still nothing that says, oh yeah, we've got momentum on our side also. The good news is that we continue to find new longs and we don't have any sell positions. MDVN, I had a sell stop hit because I decided what I wanted to do on this one was if the stock, remember, like I said, it shouldn't have been in long position anyway. If a stock opens up below where it opened the day before, it's negated. So that happened with MDVN, so it should have been an immediate sell and or not even taken at all. Slept in, wasn't up in the morning. Got lucky, came back intraday, didn't put any sell stops on since it's a biotech stock, but I did put one below the open saying that this stock should have raced higher immediately. It pulled back, but overall still looks good, so I'm out of half my position. For the new long positions, though, this should max us out. We're basically fully invested, but there's a little bit of capital left. I want to put back on ABAX. If you don't remember, we went long ABX on 1.8, got shaken out of it. Powerful re-up day. Should I have my buy stop set above the 58.46 level? If that would have happened, I would have been taken into the stock earlier. Probably would have held on and then would have gone through that day. Would have been stopped out of some of it, but the bottom line is we'd already have a position. But getting a very strong back-to-back pocket pivot point signals on a 2-day basis. Pocket pivot point signal with some strong growing green bop each day. So I want to put that position back on. 2.5. And intraday AYI triggered. My buy stop was just above the intraday highs of 152.80. As you can see, it finished off that level. So now I have to put a sell stop right below the low a day here, 149.92. The next one's at 148.28, and then there's going to be one at 146.95 as the emergency one. But don't like how it reversed. But man, at first it looked like it was a great, signal like Lulu. Lulu really turned out to be great to get it intraday because it gapped up. And then also CBPO, second day in a row, giving an ad signal. Man, if this damn stock wouldn't have been so choppy earlier, and if maybe this base was longer with the 200-day moving average closer to price and the 50-day moving average, I would add more. But I'm going to do this a 1% ad signal since we just added 2% to it. But not a pocket pivot point signal, but BOP increased again, and volume was above average. So it looks good, especially on a 2- and 3-day chart. 3-day chart, you got a pocket pivot point buy signal. Weekly looks really good too, pretty coiled overall, but it's a perfect speculator scan stock and a CanSlim quality stock, so that's good. ABAX is a perfect speculator, pre-perfect speculator scan stock, which means it's going to need to rally a little bit more before it becomes an official perfect speculator scan stock. But before they can become perfect speculator stock worthy, they have to pass the pre-screen, so ABAX is in there. Also, some speculative positions I want to put on. This will max out my cash account for sure, putting these speculative positions on. Wi-Fi, been watching it ever since this big day back here, getting a third pocket pivot point signal since that day, right off 50-day moving average. BOP increased today. Volume was very strong, and hasn't been any selling in 2015, and a lot of bullish candle wicks, including those in December. So I really like this speculative chart pattern right here. And then Saru, I had buy stops set actually a couple days ago. Set buy stops on this one. First day buy, didn't really work. Next day, got a breakout. My buy stop, where was it at? 826, so it didn't hit intraday. So this now becomes a market signal, 1% signal for Saru. And then FMI, Colin Rock is buying them out. I think they're only acquiring what I read at 56% stake in the stock, but MarketSmith has it they're being fully acquired for like $50 a share. So this will be a speculative position based on the extremely bullish chart. FMI looks like it wants to really rocket higher, especially if it's just a partial buyout. This is a very, very bullish looking chart, and it has a chart that looks like maybe the buyout's mispriced, so it wants to move higher. If not, we got sell stops close by below today's low a day, the next day's low a day, and then you can use this ultimate day, the reversal from the big gap up. The very next day got huge accumulation closing near the high of the day, so we'll use that low a day as the ultimate cut loss level. Bottom line is we look good. Unfortunately, I didn't get back CVTI. I got knocked out of all of it the day before. I did not think it would reverse like that, or else I'd be back in with a move above the 2635 level. So I'm kind of kicking myself. So I'm going to be watching CVTI for a potential add if we get any other sells, and also speculative position in fold. Looks like it wants to move higher. Obviously, I've been taking out all of that, so I'll be watching that one to see if it wants to get jiggy with it. But overall, we look good. SONC is a potential buy stop candidate. OCR is definitely a potential buy stop candidate, but I really do need to see the base just a couple days longer. If it breaks out early, god damn it. And then LNG is a buy stop candidate. Look at PSXP. It just keeps going.